If you had lots of turkey and your belt is too tight, don't you worry, because it's Tuesday night.
And the Flames are undefeated in this rebuilding year, while the Oilers are still winless for now. They can't seem to get in gear.
The CFL playoffs are soon here. They are within arm's reach. While 6 teams will continue on, 2 will hit the beach.
Now, Aaron Rodgers is proving to be quite the New York diva. Last week, got his coach fired. Now he's brought in his favorite receiver.
And Elon Musk's SpaceX landed a rocket back on Earth. Every success that man has triples his net worth.
It's Chevy and Nasty. We are live and we're ready. Our takes are quite strong and our dinner plates are heavy. Well, guys, welcome back to The Ride, Tuesday night, 11 o'clock here in Calgary, Alberta. And we got a good one for you tonight. Lots of things going on in the worlds of CFL, NFL, Elon Musk. And, of course, the usuals, a little food talk, a little pop culture talk. Guys, grab yourself a drink, grab yourself a snack, and we'll be right back here joining you on The Ride.
Welcome back to The Ride with Chevy and Nasty. I'm Chevy. To my, right as I look at it, it's Nasty, but he's way up north in Evanston. We're here. You can like and subscribe to our show. We're live every Tuesday night at 11 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. But then if you miss us, don't worry about it. You can pick us up the next day, either on YouTube as a download, Facebook live as a download, or you can get us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, anywhere you get your podcast. And this is our 47th episode. And Sheldon, our good buddy Daryl, always asks, and I come prepared. 2 weeks in a row, I come prepared for the 47. He always asks us, who's the number of the jersey of 47? Now, a famous 47 in Major League Baseball was Tom Glavine, which I think he played around our time when we were younger. So, but as far as Calgary Stampeders that I played with, Aquazi Antwi was one that I played with. Tristan Black, one that I played with. So Quasi,
there you go.
Yeah, Alvin Bowen. But you know who makes an appearance again? And I'm not lying. 2 weeks in a row, Chuck Zickafoose. Not only did he wear number 46 for 4 years, it appears that he wore 47 for 2, or it's his brother. Maybe he's got a brother named Chuck Zickafoose, or a long lost cousin. Maybe there's a couple of them that played in the CFL.
I don't know, guys, bum number. You changed your numbers a couple of times. I did from my rookie year to later, my career.
What numbers did you wear? What numbers did you wear? Because I know you have 92. That's all I know.
Yeah, I came into Eskimos wearing number 91. But when I went to, I didn't make the team, right? I was on practice roster or whatever. By the time I got to the Riders, I had 91 until they signed All-Pro future Hall of Famer Demetrius Maxey.
Well, yeah,
who famously wore 91 for Toronto Argonauts. So we had a little discussion. I figured I'd let him have his bone, and I'd take one better than 91, which was also my college number, and take number 92. But I got a couple more 47s for you because it was tough to find. There's not a lot. It's not a popular number.
No.
Right. But right now I'm looking at, do you remember John Lynch, strong safety for Tampa Bay, played 15 years in the NFL? He was a 47.
Oh, and he's also, is he not the GM of the 49ers? Is that
he is. Currently GM of the 49ers after his 15-year career.
Yeah.
Still waiting to get his second Super Bowl ring. And then, of course, we'll see how things go. Number 47, Donald J. Trump is president. He was number 45. Biden's number 46. And now, like me and Maxie fought over number 91, we got Kamala Harris and Donald J. Trump looking to make number 47 famous.
Are you calling it early? Are you calling it early?
Oh, dude, it's too close to call. But, if you listen to the Trump rallies, I think the guy's pretty confident right now. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, well, I changed numbers a couple of times with the stamps. I think I had number 60 when I started. But because I had to wear an eligible number when I played on the tight end packages, I had something in the 90s. And then I moved to 76, which was my favorite number. But then some eligibility rules on field goals, which allowed us or negated any fake field goals, forced me to put an ineligible number. So I went to 56, which I wore for most of my career with the stamps. And then when I resigned a couple of years ago during COVID, I had to change numbers because Elijah Thurman, great linebacker in the
Right.
CFL, and for the Stamps, he was wearing 56. So I wore 57. So I was a 57 Chevy.
One better,
That
right?
was
One better.
that was the last jersey I wore. But Sheldon, last weekend was Thanksgiving. A lot of people spent time with their families. A lot of people spent time at home, but you
Yeah.
didn't. You went on a road trip with one of our
No,
loyal listeners, right?
I
Tell us about
did.
this road trip, this epic, nasty road trip.
Well, really, what it's been about is since the start of the football season, coaching.
Look at you guys.
Yeah, that was about it too. Anybody that trailer camps, and we got a permanent spot up there in Kukanoosa, and you have fun all summer long, but the end of the year comes and you have to winterize, get all the water out of your lines, get everything shut down, look out for mice, pack up all your stuff. So last year I had a little problem with my slide out that I think I had fixed, but the last thing I wanted was to be down there by myself. So I put out the call, hey, who wants to make a Kukanoosa run? And lo and behold, our good friend and listener, Jamin, says, dude,
Yeah.
I am down for a road trip, which was just
Answers
awesome because
the
it's not
call.
a quick trip. It's a 4 hours there, 3 hour pack up, and then 4 hours back. It's a long day.
Wow.
But it got me thinking, because when we first started this thing, we called it The Ride. You're always like big on road trips and talking and all this stuff. I was like, nah, I just like to shut off the radio and just be alone with my thoughts. James is a little bit more like you, right? He's like, you know what? We're gonna tell stories. We can sing songs. What else should we do? Well, as it turns out, the first 2 hours, leaving Calgary, he's as much of a political buff as I am. So we just listened to talk radio and argued about politics. Mostly agreed. Yeah. But then he had this awesome idea. He downloaded all of the NHL Prime series, Face Off. And we just watched the series as we went along. I think we saw 4 or 5 episodes. There's one left to see.
Okay.
We just watched that the whole way.
And we've talked about this last week. So not only are you on an epic road trip, you're watching an epic show now. So you watch it. We talked about it last week. I got into it. I have one more episode as well to finish. I keep falling asleep, and I had a busy week last week. What did you think of it?
Dude, it was awesome. Like getting, I knew it would be good. Sports shows, like I talked about last week, I have a hard time watching them. I don't watch sports. I played sports, right?
You're right.
So I kind of, I don't want to get into all the drama and stuff. But you know what? It was really good. And you get to know guys at a different level than you ever did before. I've actually got a little spot in my heart now for the Toronto Maple Leafs. Seeing what the captains and everybody goes through there. It was pretty awesome. But the best thing is,
looks like Jamin finished without you, by the way.
Dude, that's not cool. Is that cool? Can you do that?
I don't know. Well, when were you going to watch it with him? Were you going to invite him over to snuggle in bed?
I don't know. Next year, next road trip. I don't know.
Well, that's too long.
The awesome thing is I've never watched the show. Like, I didn't watch it because I was driving, right? But you can listen to these things like a podcast, and you get most of it. But on the way back, we're like, okay, we can eat anything you want. What do we do for dinner? He's like, well, I want to get back. The Bombers or the Jets were playing that night. Mm-hmm. He's like, let's get a pizza. And I'm like, dude, a pizza sounds good.
A road trip pizza in the truck,
like
while you were driving.
While we were driving,
How do you get the point in? Because that's like is it like piping hot or is it kind of semi hard? Like,
you know what, I was a little bit afraid of that, right? Because you never know it. Because we got a place called Fernie Pizza, which is the highest rated pizza house in Fernie, and you never know if it's going to be that soft, gooey Italian where you pick it up and it folds over. The crust was built for road crust. It was probably just a little stiffer than I'd like it, but it was perfect for eating in the car. And there's a couple of red peppers and onions and sausage crumbles that we had to, vacuum out afterwards. But, I'll tell you what, I've never done it before, but I think pizza is a very respectable road trip choice. You just got to bring lots of napkins.
Kids. I've never done a road trip pizza. I mean, maybe a cheese pizza, like a Little Caesar, where like kind of all states, but anything with any type of topping, I don't know if you could do that, especially if it's maybe a calzone. A calzone's like almost like a pizza pocket, right?
Yeah. This one was firm enough crust that that it did hold its own. It was a risky choice. It could have gone either way, but it turned out perfect. So yeah.
Well, that's all right. That's all right. Okay. And so you got the trailer winterized. You had your pizza. You watched 3 episodes, I guess, or 4 episodes because
least.
Jamin watched episode 5 and 6. He didn't want to wait for you. So clearly the show was more captivating to him than to you. And we just got word that I believe the Oilers won tonight. When I saw Trey put on the comments, yeah, Oilers, I assume that means they won their first game of the season. If speaking about Oilers,
there you go.
And we'll talk a little bit about that later. There's
we'll talk about it later.
A lot of drama in Alberta, but you know what? It's Tuesday night. We're the Ride. We like to talk about anything and whatever. It's our show, and right now we want to switch gears a little bit. Speaking of gears, this guy's probably very familiar with gears. Elon Musk, Sheldon. You know, like I was watching this weekend. I looked on Twitter, flipped through Twitter, and they had the rocket that they launched into space. And then comes back to Earth with this like super mech or something they call it, and they catch it. Trey, can you show this? Because I think this is fantastic. I'll lower the volume on my headphones. But let's show the super rocket.
Ignited. We're now down to 3 Raptor engines. We can see those chopsticks now in view.
I actually got goosebumps. I got goosebumps right now watching it like on a big screen, not on my phone, and I just, that to me was so impressive. But again, tonight I was doing a little bit of research on Elon Musk. What I realized that his first 3 launches were failures.
Yeah,
and he was on the brink of bankruptcy with his SpaceX company and Tesla at the same time. Brink of bankruptcy. On his 4th launch, that was successful, went in orbit. That's where he scored his big contract with NASA to supply like the space station. But he was on the brink of bankruptcy, and he said at no point did he ever think he quit. And look where he is now. Like, you know what? That's unbelievable.
You saw that room explode as people were celebrating. But I've watched those failures. I've watched the explosions. They celebrate almost at the same level. Every time something goes wrong, he says, guys, it's going to take tons of mistakes and disasters. Don't worry, I'm footing the bill. We learn more from our failures than we do from our successes. In fact, he coined a term for those first rockets that were exploding. He called them RUDs, R-U-D. Did you ever hear of that?
No. Tell me about it.
It was called rapid unscheduled disassembly for an explosion, right? Like that's the thing I like about Elon Musk is, he's not doing it like he's the wealthiest guy on the planet, or he was, but he's not doing things for the wealth. He's doing it because it's interesting to him and he thinks it's important, and so, yeah, whether it took, how many more explosions, I just love that take that he's doing, that he's not overly commercializing. Sure, he promotes the hell out of it, right?
Yeah.
He was wearing a shirt the other day saying "Occupy Mars" because he's leading the charge to Mars.
Yeah.
But humankind has not had a guy like this since Walt Disney.
Yeah, you said it today when we talked about it. What's the term you use? He's the ultimate disruptor.
The ultimate disruptor.
And I have to agree with that, but I mean, it doesn't mean you have to like him, right? Because I was tonight when I did a little research, I watched a YouTube video on him. It's fascinating, his story. First of all, South African father, Canadian mother, actually studied at Queen's University, moved to Canada. When he was 12 years old, he built a video game. Like, he built his first video game. Like, it's truly genius. He had an economics and I believe an engineering degree, but he knew nothing about rockets. He taught himself about rockets and jet propulsion, and I'm like, just crazy genius. So is he like, obviously the success of Tesla, and we talked about it, he almost went bankrupt with Tesla, right? When they were trying to release their Roadster, he came into all kinds of issues and production issues. And when you got investors, you got to deliver, and he almost didn't, right? And both those companies were going to crash at the same time. Instead, he hits big. Obviously, he's a multi-billionaire, and then he's got the he bought Twitter. turn it to X.
And that wasn't for the money. I'll promise you that.
Yeah, no, he like for that, his goal is to fight for free speech because free speech was coming under attack. He's fighting to get to Mars. He's fighting to save the Earth. I guess that's kind of how he spins it with his electric cars. So where do you sit on Elon Musk? Because when I look at him on Twitter, he's kind of a goof, right? Like, I mean, with all that power that he wields a tremendous amount of power. He kind of sometimes comes off like a goof. And I know he's got that money where you could say whatever you want and do whatever you want. But we talked about it last week. We were talking about The Rock, a very little movement, scrutinized and watched by millions and millions. Well, Elon Musk is no different. In fact, probably has an even larger platform because
do you know the difference between him and The Rock though?
Tell me.
And I like them both. Like I'm personally, I am a big Elon fan, and I know he's not perfect. I said last week, I don't need people I admire to be my spiritual role models.
Right.
But everything that The Rock does is for popularity and to grow his success through people liking him. Mm-hmm. Elon Musk does not care if you like him. He gets an idea in his head, whether it's a video game as a 12-year-old, or whether it was starting PayPal as a co-founder, or starting up SpaceX. My brother used to be involved in volunteer with SpaceX just because Elon believed we've got to start developing space travel that's affordable and attainable for normal human beings. He never did any of those things for wealth. In fact, the second he builds it to the point that he wants it to build, he'll sell, he'll get out, he'll move on, he'll chase to his next passion. But you think about the things that he's done. Yeah, he did co-found PayPal. He did start Tesla, and running it anyway. Founded SpaceX. He builds rockets better than NASA. And all our talk our whole lives about like flying cars and getting to the moon. He's going to be the guy that gets us there.
Well, and we talked about that last week, right? With the driverless cabs. Like he's the one that's championing the autonomous drivers. He even said, if Tesla cannot achieve full autonomy for their vehicles, there's no point in his company. So he has that as his vision.
Yeah. So you bring it up though. Like I come out on his side. Like I think the world needs more guys like him. I can tell something about him you just can't get behind.
Yeah, and maybe I'm the opposite of you. Maybe I need the people that are role models to kind of stand for something a little better. And Rob Evans kind of leads into my next point. He says he's got a kind of Tony Stark vibe. I'm actually going to ask this question. Is he more like the billionaire Bruce Wayne that uses powers and gadgets to save humanity? Or is he more like Lex Luthor, who's a billionaire and on the surface looks like he's advancing humanity, but really he's trying to take over the world and dominate the world and then dominate Mars? Where do you sit on it?
You know what? I tell you, and I hear all the criticism. He's not trying to take over the world, but he is trying to reinvent the world based off his own imagination, creativity. Is that evil genius? I don't know. I kind of like the rockets that can land and take off again the next day. I like, what he's done with advancing technology and finally the world's looking like we're things that we only dreamt that were possible are becoming possible now. And I don't think he's doing it for self-profit. He's certainly got an ego. Yeah. I just think I think he's a curious guy that can't put it down until he's got it figured out. And I think the world needs more guys like that.
Yeah, I totally agree with that because I can even look at this comparison. I guess he come under fire this week. The writer of the iRobot movie, if you remember that, I believe it was Tom Cruise?
No, Will Smith.
Tom Cruise was Minority Report.
Yeah,
similar type AI thing. But look at the similarities. On the left you've got the androids from iRobot, and on the right you see the ones that he's created, his little robot Musks, and then the Tesla train on the right there with the one from iRobot, and then the car. So very similar, and he's come under fire for possibly stealing the designs. But it's kind of hard, when these scientists and designers and creators are looking at this stuff, they're probably drawing from inspiration the movies that we watch, just much like Star Trek. If you go back to Star Trek, the tricorder that they had was the early iteration of the flip phone, and then the next generation created the iPads, right? So I mean, he took things that people dreamt up in the movies and had to use special effects for, and he created them in reality. And this rocket, whatever I feel about Elon Musk, like you said, I'm still not sure, because I look at him sometimes, he says some weird things, but I cannot discount where we are in terms of our ability to travel, the feats of engineering that he's pushed the envelope on. Like, he is exactly what you said. He's a human being that has an extraordinary vision beyond sort of what we do, but not just the vision, it's the ability to put into practice through repeated failure and hard work, and really a headstrong type mentality that he's not going to take no for an answer. And that's, to me, that's admirable, because again, I got goosebumps watching that film of the rocket landing, and that's pretty sweet.
It is pretty sweet. Now, let me ask you this, as a guy that doesn't like Elon, and it's okay for you to say it, because I know you don't. Donald Trump has come out and is talking about offering a position, if he does win the presidency, as the Secretary of Cost Cutting. He wants to bring in Elon Musk's mind into his cabinet, if you would, his inner circle, to take a look at how the country's run and to make it run better. Is that something that worries you? Because you just kind of equated him to possibly an evil genius, possibly the most brilliant guy on the planet. Does it make you nervous if he got involved in government and tried to streamline it?
Well, there's a lot of stuff that makes me nervous these days, and that could be one of them. The other could be that AI is going to take over the world and government might not even exist. So
it will.
I'm not too sure what I'm worried about more. Donald Trump, that's another person I don't have a high opinion of. You and I differ on that. I'm not a big fan. I'm just not a big fan. And a lot of what he does is circus. It's circus, and it's circus fair. And it just seems like, this would be another sort of circus move. And these guys, Elon Musk, he's challenging Mark Zuckerberg to an MMA match. And then next thing you know, he's like, pick one thing. I guess don't pick one thing, because he's doing what he does well, but I don't know.
Electric cars, solar panels, rockets, trips to space, those brain computer connections, AI. Dude, this guy does not stick to one thing. He doesn't. But I don't know if he's an evil genius, but he's definitely a maniacal in the way.
Yeah, he's definitely maniacal, and who knows? I mean, his money came from PayPal, but there's all kinds of stuff that we still don't know about this man, right? Still don't know about this guy. AC Sports joins us, guys. AC Sports Live, his show goes on before us. You got to check him out. AC, yes, you missed the poetry. We started doing it right at the intro, right before the show even starts. We figured, why not kick it off with the poetry? But you know what? It's probably a good time for a break.
Yeah,
we're already 20 minutes into the show. Like and subscribe to our show, guys. We're on YouTube, we're on Facebook, we're on Instagram, we're on X, Elon's X. We're on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. You can find our show every night, every Tuesday, 11 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, and then we are available for download the next day. Guys, we'll get back and we'll hit to my Thanksgiving weekend, and some of the stuff I went through. So let's have a break, and we'll be right back.
Performance Freight Management is a global logistic freight shipping company that will handle the entire shipping process for any package to any country. Whether it be a simple truck shipment from your office to Toronto or your company importing generators from China, PFM Freight handles it all. We have the expertise and technology to handle any shipping requirements. Skip the guesswork and let us take the shipping pain off your plate.
Experience our new fundraising event, Ignite the Night YYC, this November when we bring the fire hall to the Big 4 Roadhouse. Featuring a firefighter challenge, live entertainment, and fabulous food and drink. Tickets and sponsorship opportunities available now. Support the Calgary Firefighters Burn Treatment Society. Ignite the Night YYC this November. Help us help those who have experienced a life-changing burn injury.
Welcome back, guys. It's the Ride with Chevy and Nasty. I see that comment by Cozy. I'm not jealous of Elon Musk. I'm actually in admiration of all he's done. I'm not a big fan. I cannot be a big fan of the person, and we're going to talk about someone that I'm not a big fan of later on, but still be respectful of what they've accomplished and the things they do. Sheldon, would you buy a Tesla? I know we talked about driverless cars. Would you buy a Tesla?
You know, it's getting closer to the point that I would, if I had it in the budget for, like, for me, for running to the trailer and pulling trailers. No, absolutely not. You just don't get the life out of it for the long trips. But for WeDrone, as I'm running from shoot to shoot to shoot, I actually kind of think it'd be awesome to have a good size electric vehicle, something that I can run for a day. It all deckled up with WeDrone. So when I take the shots from the air, you see my logo on the top of the car. I'm not against electric cars. I just don't think they're practical for everything that I need yet.
Right.
With that new graphene battery, 5 years from now, maybe, right? Hybrid for sure. I'd love a hybrid, but I just couldn't rely on electric for what I need it for yet.
Fair enough. We're Chevy and Nasty. This is the Ride, and we're powered by Performance Freight Management and WeDrone Real Estate Media. Thanks for joining us, guys. Sheldon, at the start of the last segment, you talked about your nice road trip that you had with Jamin. I wanted to tell you a little bit about my weekend, how it started. So as we mentioned last week, it was Fire Prevention Week. I had a lot of stuff going on. My son, on the tail end of that week, I got a chance to celebrate my son's 18th birthday. So my son, Luke, turned 18. He'd become a man, right? And I was putting together a slideshow for his birthday. And as I was putting it together, I was going through hundreds of pictures, right? And like from birth all the way to him now, I kind of put this little 10-minute montage to some music that we showed after dinner on Friday night. And then it was very funny because Saturday morning I was headed back to work. I had another open house for work, and I was having breakfast, and the pictures that I had been working on the day before were flashing in front of my eyes. He had turned 18 on the Saturday. We celebrated on the Friday. And I couldn't get the pictures out of my face. I was getting like super emotional, man.
Yeah.
Because I was like, man, this is my kid, like 2006, October 12th, he was born. I remember like it was yesterday.
I was in the locker room. That blew my mind that when you became a dad. And
here we are, 18 years later, and he's a man, he's driving, he's got his girlfriend. And it was crazy because what for me was like a full circle moment was the next day on the Sunday, I was in Red Deer with Brittany, and we were babysitting her brother and sister-in-law's little kids. And the daughter is 1 year old, and she was glued to Brittany. But the little guy, he's 4 years old, Matic, and we were inseparable, and it just brought me back. So here I was the day before, seeing my son grow to be a man, and then all of a sudden the next day I'm back with this little 4-year-old guy doing the stuff that I would have done with Luke, like singing Old MacDonald Had a Farm as we were walking to the park and going on the swings and going to the pool. And just, man, it was a weird whirlwind of a weekend. And I forgot just how much energy the little ones take.
Yeah.
Like my guys are independent. They're all here right now. And I'm like, hey guys, I cooked them dinner. And then, I'm like, guys, you got to eat. You got to do this, you got to do that. And that's it. I'm done. Like,
was it just you and Brittany with the little ones, or?
Yeah.
That's crazy because that was the age. That was the age I'd turn my back on my son and he'd have like a screw from a couch downstairs stuck through his foot. Like you can't turn your back for a second at that age. And it's funny you bring that up because I haven't thought about that in a long time. But you know what it sounds like to me? Are you talking about like a baby announcement? Are you ready to start a new family, or are you kind of like the grandparent stage where it's just kind of neat to be reminded of that? Because I haven't been in charge of a tyke since my own kids, like since
Well,
ever, right?
and that's it, because anyone that's ever had, like, so I live far away from my family back home, right? Everyone's about 5 hour or 4 hour flight to Montreal. My sister had kids right around the same time as me, and anyone that was related to me had kids, if they had kids, at the same time as me. So if you go to a family get together, you're not really into, not that you're not into everyone's kids, but you're making sure that your kids don't get into trouble, don't open something they shouldn't, don't get hurt. You're not really on the other kids, right? So I haven't really had this opportunity to be fully involved in a child, first of all, that's not mine, in a long time. And I really forgot, like, I mean, I had a blast. Like, I had a blast because I got to do all the stuff that I want to do: go to the pool, go to the park, sing songs, watch cartoons, play games, color. But it's like a constant flow of activity, and it doesn't stop until they go to bed at night. And I guess it might have been because we were exhausted. Like, I was exhausted from a big week, fire prevention week. I worked a lot of overtime. I was exhausted. Then Brittany got a new puppy. That was the announcement. She got a new puppy. So we puppy in the house, and then the two kids. And it was nuts. But yeah, I assume that when you get to grandparents' age, it's tough because, as you get older, you're more tired. You want to sleep. Yet, these kids probably require a ton of energy.
And not just that, like, you've kept yourself in great shape after the game, right? But even getting down on your hands and knees and crawling on the floors, because they're like literally built 3 feet from the ground.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
If that, and you've got to be eye to eye contact to get anywhere with them and to get them to listen, or to engage with them, right? They can't look up at a 6'3" guy and have a conversation, right? So you got to be down at their level. And that's, I guess maybe that's another reason just to keep in shape. For me, with my back's better than it used to be, but that would be the thing that intimidated me, crawling around on all fours again. I think it'd be awesome, but it's all the more reason to keep in shape, I guess.
Well, Sheldon, I bet you would have been proud of me walking to the park, holding hands with a little 4-year-old guy, holding a Pomeranian Chihuahua cross as I was walking to the park. I was like the modern day man there, right there.
There you go.
But it was fun, and I'm sure some of our listeners are, they might be in the stage where they are grandparents. They might have some younger kids around, and I wonder how tough that is, because I think of my mom. My mom, as my sister had, one daughter and then a set of twins. My mom was very involved in helping my sister raise the kids. Like, the kids are always at my mom's house. I gotta imagine that would be tough my mom was in her 70s when my sister had kids. That would be tough, because I had one weekend and I was like, man, I need a nap. Like, I never needed a nap until I realized I needed a nap after hanging out with some toddlers. Like, they can go. I remember Barry Sanders once, Barry Sanders, great running back for the Detroit Lions. There was a quote somewhere, and I'm paraphrasing, but basically he went with his kids to the playground one day and he tried to keep up with his kids in the playground. And he's like, I can't do it. Like, it takes a ridiculous amount of strength, coordination, balance, and energy to do what kids do.
Yeah.
And we just don't have it. But yeah, it was definitely an interesting weekend for me. Quite emotional. Very excited for my son. He started university this year. He's playing junior ski hockey. He's got a car. He's got the girlfriend, got the little job. He's doing everything I could ask of him. And but he still drives me nuts. Like, I'm not gonna lie. Like, he's 18-year-old.
He's a Chevrier. Randy, he's a Chevrier, right?
Sometimes I wish he was a little 4-year-old again that would want to hang out with me. And that's the tough part. The tough part is the 4-year-old guy. I got a text from the sister-in-law today. She's like, man, he is talking about, Maddox's been talking about you all weekend. He loved going to the pool with you. All he's doing is talking about you, right? And I said, yeah, man, do I miss those days when your kids are your little buddies and they would do anything. Now I beg them to play a board game or watch a show. And it's like, oh, Dad. But I did get 2 of them out for wings last night. And we watched Monday Night Football and got some cheap wings. That was our Thanksgiving wings. So that was pretty good.
Thanks, I love it.
I got to take the wins when I get them. Speaking of wins, speaking of losses, we got to hit our CFL picks, because we're right coming up to the final week of the CFL season, and I don't even know how my picks went last week, Sheldon.
I think I did pretty good.
Well, let's see.
I think I did pretty good.
Pull up our picks. Oh man, I am sucking.
Yeah, there you go. That's it.
Yeah, this could. Now, are we carrying this through to the playoffs, or is
Yeah,
the playoffs
it's
start
not
already?
over till it's over. Well, I don't know. Maybe we might have to come up with something at stake for the end of the season and in the playoffs, because playoffs completely different animal. There's not as many games, you can't catch up.
Yeah.
Right?
I got one more week to possibly. Can I catch up this week? I mean, if you totally blow it and I totally win it all, I can.
There's 3 games you could tie,
I could tell you.
but I'm just gonna copy all your picks this week. So good luck.
I don't even know which picks I got last week. Which is the one I got?
Trey says there's 2 weeks left, so you got some time.
Oh, okay. Maybe I can make it up. Sorry, I thought week 20. You know why I thought this was the last week? Because BC Lions are going into their last week of the season, apparently.
Oh, they got a week 20 bye.
Yeah, but they got a week 20 bye. But yeah, where did I go wrong last week? I picked the Alouettes.
Basically everywhere you went wrong. You picked the Alouettes.
And that's it. After
that's
that, I
it,
picked,
yeah.
Did I pick
You
BC
picked
over
Did you
Saskatchewan?
pick the Stamps over the Elks?
I didn't think I did.
Did you pick the Lions over the Riders? Yeah, I think you picked the Lions.
Trey, are you just making up the numbers here? Like, come on, man. I would. I know I would have picked Winnipeg. I know I would have picked Edmonton because I kind of don't believe in the Stamps this year. Well, with what.
So now you're sounding like your boy Trump questioning the results of last week's picks.
Okay, he says I picked Bombers, Stamps, BC, and L, so I should have 2 wins. Oh no, I didn't.
No, Bombers lost. Stamps lost. Lions lost.
You sure I didn't pick the Elks? God, I don't believe you, Trey. I demand a recount. Okay, well, let's pick next week's then, since like Calgary versus Hamilton, Sheldon.
Oh, okay. Hold on. I got to check. I went back and forth on this one. I did some notes. I did some research. I got to check this one out. Where did I end up on this one?
You know where I'm going.
You know what, Chev? I am going Tiger Cast with you. I think Bo Levi has got enough to show, and I think with all the pressure off, they're just going to let it fly this week with Chris Jones at the lead of that defense.
Okay.
So that one I can't give you.
Okay. Ottawa, Toronto.
I got Argos. They weren't great last week, but they're coming around and they're motivated to. They still got something to fight for, so I think we're going to still see the best. And their defense looked awesome last week. So yeah, Toronto.
Yeah, they are underrated. I think a lot of people don't want to pick them just because Chad Kelly's at the helm and they just want them to fail. But I'm going to pick Ottawa just because I need to try and make up some points. So at this point, I'm desperate. So I'm picking Ottawa.
All right. Well, you go first on this one because I keep going first. Lions, Alouettes.
I'm going to pick the Montreal. I need Montreal to do their thing. BC Lions got some changes coming up. We're going to talk about it in a second. But yeah, I think I'm going to pick Montreal in this one.
Yeah, you know what? I've made it this far in front of you from picking the best teams. But right now, with the controversy going on in BC, I think we're going to have a very motivated Vernon Adams coming out this week with a chip on his shoulder and something to prove. So I'll take the Lions. I'll give you a chance on that one.
Okay, you take the Lions. Man, do you wear contact lenses? Do you wear contact lenses at all? Because mine are killing me tonight. If I look like I'm drunk or stoned or something, it's because my contact lenses are like stuck to my eyelids every time I blink. So I'll power through. I don't think we're going to do overtime, but what we're going to do right now, Sheldon, is we started last week, the Chevy and Nasty Blitz. Here it goes, Sheldon. Who's kicking this one off?
You take the first one.
All right. The struggling BC Lions have decided that they will go back to Vernon Adams after an underwhelming performance by Nathan Rourke, who they made the CFL's highest paid player. I think he's going to be making $825,000 next year. Coach Rick Campbell says, let's put Vernon in and see what will happen. Heading into the playoffs with an open QB competition. Is this a wise move or is it throwing the locker room into chaos?
Well, there's definitely a certain amount of chaos, but let's not forget that the whole team isn't Vernon Adams or Nathan Rourke. There's a lot of guys there that know they have a good team and they just want to win. So in terms of the locker room, they're going to get behind whoever is going to give them a chance to win games. I said early on that you got to go with Nathan because that's the smart move. But I love Vernon Adams. I love what he's done for this team the last 2 years. And you know what else? I've been pushed to the side before by a team. I've been questioned when they brought in the new hot shot. And you know what that does? It pisses you off. You can even like the guy that they're taking your job, but it still pisses you off. Yeah. And you want every chance at vengeance to show that you still got it. Because at this point, Vernon Adams is playing for where he's going to be traded to next year. Right? And he's not going to go out lightly.
Yeah, he won't go out lately, and you got to. We can't forget that before he got injured, he was in talks for the most outstanding player in the CFL.
6-0.
He got hurt, and then things kind of the wheels came off. They had a couple of losing weeks, and then all of a sudden Nathan Rourke is available. I don't know. I still think BC Lions might have made a mistake going to Nathan Rourke just because he was a bright shiny toy 2 years ago. I like Vernon Adams, and I'm going to say that Coach Campbell is putting him in. Probably for the wrong reasons, but I think he's going to get the result he wants. I think the BC Lions are going to go, and then they're going to have a controversy in the offseason because if Vernon Adams can get them far into playoffs, and hey, listen, what happens if they win a Grey Cup and Vernon Adams is at the helm? What do you do then? Do you trade him? Whew, sounds like that movie, The Any Given Sunday. Your turn.
Yeah, no doubt. Okay, with a win tonight, the Flames are officially 4-0. And with their loss tonight, which I wrote when the Oilers were down 2-0, but they actually pulled out a win. Oilers are 3-1. Should the Oiler fans be hitting the panic button, Todd Kozak, or should the Flames fans be playing the parade, or do you not believe either of these starts to the season?
You know what? I think that we're going to hold off on the panic button and the parade. I think the Oilers are a great team. We talked about this series that we both watched on Amazon Prime that we both have to finish, except for Jamin. He just went ahead and did it without us.
Yeah,
but
sure. That's the kind of guy he is, right?
You know, I do believe in the talent in the Oilers locker room. I believe that this is a fantastic start for the Flames. This is the year where that they determined to be their rebuild year, and it seems like it's their best start in years. I've been here since 2004. And the Flames have historically been plagued by these slow starts. I remember Jerome McGinley not getting any points in the month of October until late October, early November. And it just seems like, you know what? They got a bunch of young guns, and maybe because they don't feel the pressure, they're playing loose. They're playing smart. They're getting some good goaltending. But I'm not going to plan the parade route just yet. But you know what? Flames did beat the Oilers on Sunday night in the first Battle of Alberta regular season tilt, and I know that
looked pissed.
Yeah, well, he would be pissed, right? Imagine how pissed he is when they're one of the highest paid teams. They just signed a whole bunch of guys to a whole bunch of money, and they can't beat the team of misfits from Calgary.
Yeah, you know what? It's early in the year. I'm the same. Like I jumped back on that Oiler train last year. I mean, they're fun to watch. I want to see them go all the way. But I heard a stat that scared me, made my hair stand up on my arms. They have, out of their forwards, they have 3 forwards out of their starting 12 under the age of 30.
Wow.
So you take a look at you got a lot of veteran leadership, a lot of really strong players, but they are old. They are an old team in a young man's league. That's my only concern. When injuries and things start to wear in, do they have the depth? I don't know what their farm team looks like. I don't know what the minors looks like for them, but that's the thing that worries me about the Oilers. Do they have, and McDavid and Draisaitl are 2 of them.
Yeah, but you gotta also remember they made a long run into June, and that's going to affect any team, right? They didn't have the same layoff that some of these other teams did.
You're supposed to come back hungrier when you lose.
Yeah, you come back hungrier, but you are still tired, and the hunger will set in at the right time, and I do believe that at the end the Oilers will be the better team. That's my prediction. I don't think a Stanley Cup parade for either of them yet, because a lot of other teams got better this year, and if the Oilers don't wake up soon, those teams are going to pass them. Sheldon, after reporting no symptoms in weeks, Tua Tagovailoa is expected to return to play this week, according to Miami Dolphins coach Mike McDaniel. After seemingly having his brain turned to mush earlier this season against the Bills, are the Dolphins messing with this man's life, or do we expect him to come back fully recovered, symptom-free?
Well, that's the thing. Is it the Dolphins messing with his life? I mean, he's a player in this too. I guess if he gets cleared, he's kind of put in a spot. But at this point, I'll tell you what, like he's a grown man. He's got to make his own decisions, but he's starting to look like Buck Pierce to me.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you, one more concussion, and I'm just going to have to start closing my eyes when he takes the field, because a guy his age that gets concussions in the style, he has, a couple of them look like that. Like, one of them looked legitimate. The other ones were like geez, dude, I don't think you've got it. And he better come back with a Guardian cap. At this point, he's taking some serious chances in my books. Would I retire? No, I probably wouldn't have been smart enough to do it, but it's hard to watch, Chev.
It is hard to watch. I remember Zach Collaros early in his career with Hamilton. After he left Toronto, I think he was in Hamilton as a starter for a while. Very similar. Some of the hits he took and the way I didn't think he'd be playing as long as he currently is. So I mean, I do like the reference to Buck Pierce because Buck Pierce plays more the style of Tua Tagovailoa, that running quarterback that puts his head down and takes those hits. But he definitely is going to have to change some of that up if he wants to resume a career. If he wants to, if he wants to remember his kids' names at the age of 50, because the hits he took, the ones that I saw against the Bengals, I believe was last year, and then this year against the Bills, when you got your fingers crossed, looking like you're posturing because you had a stroke, that's not good. That's not good. And I don't think he should retire, but I definitely think they should give him a break and give him the entire season. Go with a specialist. Go find something that will get you back straight. Don't rush through it. There's no amount of recovery you can do in the season that'll make you 100%. I just don't believe it, and I think that if they rush him back this year, they're doing him, their fan base, and their reputation a disservice. Because if he gets concussed again, that's it. He done.
Yeah. Last one to you, Chev. The Jets lost another one this week on Monday night to the Bills. They play good. 2 missed kicks that would have put them up by 6, but they missed them both. End of the game, after an interception, they lose by 3.
Yep.
The next day, Devontae Adams is reuniting with Aaron Rodgers right after he got his head coach fired. Now Rodgers is bringing in his old teammates. Is the wide receiver the position that pushes them over to the promised land, or do they just need a new damn kicker or a new quarterback? What is the problem there?
Well, I don't know if I'm basing it on your question. I think yesterday I was like, they need a damn kicker because he doinked one off the right goalpost, and as he was going for the second kick that could have put them up 3, I told my boys, we were having wings, we were eating the wings. I said, guys, he is going to doink it off the other one, and lo and behold, he doinks it off.
Yeah, and it was a 32-yarder or something. It was like
it was a gimme, and you feel bad for the guy, but it's one of those things where I'm thinking this Aaron Rodgers doesn't like to give hugs karma is following him. Like I said, he got his coach fired. You mentioned it in the poem. It seems like he's kind of playing this diva role, and if we're gonna go a little further down the road with this, it seems like I've always respected Aaron Rodgers' talent as a quarterback. He's won a Super Bowl. He's had some MVPs. He's really dynamic, or at least in his day he was. I don't know if he's as dynamic now coming off that Achilles tendon injury tear, but I'll tell you, it's a modern miracle of science that he's back playing this year, and he's playing relatively well. But he's not Tom Brady, and I think the Jets are giving him Tom Brady keys to the Porsche. Because the coach is gone. Aaron Rodgers is still there. The next day after losing, they go and get his old receiver from Green Bay. Now, it smells like Tom Brady going to Tampa and bringing Gronk, except,
it's different. It just feels different, doesn't it?
Oh, it feels terribly different.
For me, I look at him like, I like Aaron Rodgers. I'm okay with a guy being an individual. Yeah, he's outspoken. Same thing I said about Elon. I don't need him to be a nice guy, but you know what the difference is? He doesn't strike me as a team guy. He doesn't strike me as a guy that guys are rallying around. It's all about Aaron Rodgers or nothing, right? Including which coaches stay, which ones get fired, which players come in. He's probably been given the keys a little too quickly to a guy that, he's been one of the great quarterbacks in the NFL, but he's not Tom Brady. And guys aren't rallying around him the way he doesn't have the ability to make the team around him better, or he hasn't shown it yet. I know last year, you'll never know what happened if he didn't tear his Achilles, right? Yeah. He might have gone on and had a stellar season. But right now, I look at it as just this. It's the New York Jets. They have not been good in 30 years. They make the wrong decisions every time. They trust the wrong opinions. And this is just for Jets fans, not that until this year, not that I even knew a single Jets fan. It's got to be so frustrating to watch front office bungle decision after decision after decision, putting all their eggs in the wrong basket.
Yeah. And maybe they thought, you know what, we've been doing it one way And that's the definition of insanity, just doing it the same way all the time. So they figured, you know what, let's do something different. Let's make him call the shots. And right after the game yesterday, it echoes what you said, because it does seem like he's kind of a me guy. After the game, it sounded like he's throwing his receiver under the bus. And I know it's probably him just explaining what happened on the play and sort of an accountability thing. But at the same time, I've never hear quarterbacks throw their guys on the bus in a presser. Let's watch what he had to say about that interception.
You go over that pass to Mike Williams, the last one was picked off.
What about it?
What specifically did you see on the throw? How would you throw out?
There's two verticals, Allen's down the seam, Mike's down the red line. So I'm looking at Allen. He puts his hand up, three guys go with him. So I'm throwing a no look to the red line. And when I just peek my eyes back there, he's running an inbreaker. So it's got to be down the red line.
So were you throwing that spot to come back to it?
No, I was throwing it to the red line, but when I got to about here, I realized he was running an inbreaker, so I had to kind of adjust it a little bit. But the play is two guys vertical, one guy down the seam, one guy on the red line.
Aaron, it's not.
Yeah.
What's your take on that?
First of all, he's probably not wrong.
Yeah.
Right? That's probably where he wants his receivers to be. And it's his job to make sure that his receivers understand where he needs them to be. Number two, come on. Like saying it after the game, I think it's too early in the season to start calling guys out just because you finally had a productive game. I don't know. It's a little bit early to be building that kind of animosity. But like you said, the very next day, he brings in his old boy, and there's changes being made. So we'll see what happens. It doesn't feel right. I don't like that.
Yeah, it's interesting drama. I mean, we talk about Elon, and I know we talked about Trump. Here's another guy that I respect his talent. I'm not sure where I sit on him. Again, I hear him on Pat McAfee. I love his insights, right? He gives a lot of inside stuff, but he's a bit goofy with some of the stuff. I didn't like that there was a set of rules for Aaron Rodgers when the NFL was doing their stuff during the COVID, and then everyone else. Like, I'm okay with people doing their own thing, but then everyone's either gets punished the same or not. And that's that NFL thing where, like, because he was Aaron Rodgers, they didn't do anything about it. But other guys who did similar things, suspended and banned, and he got away with it.
They didn't punish the politicians that got together and partied and did their thing.
Yeah.
There is a pecking order in society.
Yes,
right?
yes, there's that pecking order. And you know what? It was in the Jets where I sat in a meeting room and Herm Harrison was a coach. He said, "Listen, man, I'm going to treat you fair, but I'm not going to treat you equal." And that maybe that's the Jets way, maybe that was Herm Harrison's way, but it definitely seems to apply in this case. Yeah, I don't like him calling out his player either at a press conference. Like, that's something a coach does. And when a coach does it, players get mad and they get pissed off at their coach. When another player does it, I don't care if he's Aaron Rodgers. You know what? He's not Tom Brady. If Tom Brady did it, I'd be like, yeah.
But that's what I was just going to say. If I got called up by a teammate in week 4 of the season by a teammate, really, Maxie, you never jumped offside. Maxie, you never missed a sack.
Yeah.
Like, come on, man. Like, dude, I know I messed up, right? But for you to call me and Maxie never called me out like that, but we talked about him earlier. If a teammate calls me out for something that he's done himself, Aaron Rodgers hasn't exactly led them to the promised land yet. When he starts delivering results, he can talk. In the meantime, keep it in the locker room.
Keep it in the locker room. I agree. Well, listen, we're going to keep it in the locker room. We're going to try and keep it tight. We're going to take a quick break here. When we come back, we're going to wrap this up. We're almost at the top of the hour, but we'll do our second break here, and we'll talk about food when we get back.
Performance Freight Management is a global logistic freight shipping company that will handle the entire shipping process for any package to any country. Whether it be a simple truck shipment from your office to Toronto or your company importing generators from China, PFM Freight handles it all. We have the expertise and technology to handle any shipping requirements. Skip the guesswork and let us take the shipping pain off your plate.
announce our new fundraising event, Ignite the Night YYC, this November when we bring the fire hall to the Big 4 Roadhouse. Featuring a firefighter challenge, live entertainment, and fabulous food and drink. Tickets and sponsorship opportunities available now. Support the Calgary Firefighters Burn Treatment Society. Ignite the Night YYC this November. Help us help those who have experienced a life-changing burn injury.
You bringing us in?
I thought you were bringing us in.
Yeah. Well, welcome back, guys. We're almost at the tail end of the show here. We're not going to hit overtime tonight. We decided no overtime tonight. But I was driving home from Red Deer. I had a migraine. When I have migraines, I grab a Pepsi. So I just stopped in Bowden, went to the On the Run as I got some gas. I go to the Pepsi, to the fridge. And as I'm grabbing my Pepsi, I look over and I see something that just totally blew my mind. Oreo Coca-Cola.
Yeah.
Like, what the hell is this? Guys, did you try this, Sheldon? Because the little poll I got, Trey said it's terrible. Now, I asked my kids, because kids like anything. My kids will like eat all kinds of crap. And they said it was terrible. Like, Rob Evans giving it the thumbs up. Rob, do you like this?
Is that an agreement that it's terrible, Rob? Or is that, no, you guys got to try this.
You got to clarify your emoji there, because like, I looked at it and I was instantly like, ugh. What do you think?
Well, that would be me too. Like, I don't mind new exciting things, but there's nothing that, for me, I dip my Oreos in milk. I would never dip in my Coke, right?
Never.
There's certain players that, so what's the verdict? Did you try it or?
No, are you kidding me? Like, I got cherry Pepsi.
There you go.
Now that goes together. Cherry and Pepsi, that goes together. Cherry and Coke, lime and Coke. But that's
okay.
just like
vanilla Coke is all right.
But you know what that is? That's like the like, take something that's terrible and disgusting and is bad for you, and throw it into something that is terrible and is bad for you, so you can make double the bad choice. Like, come on, guys.
Yeah.
What's your take on Hawaiian pizza, Sheldon? Because I happen to, like, everyone says I got turned in my Italian car because I love Hawaiian pizza. I love the ham. I love the pineapple. It was invented in Canada, actually, in Ontario, I believe. It's not actually invented in Hawaii, but some people hate it. I love it. Where do you fall on the Hawaiian pizza?
You know what? I've eaten it before, and if it's like the last thing that's up there at the kid's birthday party and I got to finish the slice, yeah, I'll have it. But you know what? To me, those two things really don't go together on pizza.
Really?
And you know what it is? You know what it is? There's so many people out there that hate the pineapple, say pineapple has no place on pizza. Pineapple's a fruit. It should stay a fruit. You know what it is for me? It's ham. Now, like, I eat ham and scalloped potatoes and, smoked hams and things like that. But when you get a lunch meat ham, it tastes like nothing.
Oh,
right. There's nothing interesting about it. When Jamie and I got that pizza on the road trip, we got Sicilian because it's capicola and pepperoni and spicy Italian sausage, right? It tastes like something. For me, it's the ham is just so bland. It needs the pineapple to give it an edge. And for me, that's the reason that it doesn't work for me. I'm not going to disrespect the pineapple. I like it on my loaded pizzas a little bit, but for me, it's the ham that's kind of a game breaker.
Well, I love the Hawaiian pizza. I can have it all the time.
What do you love? What do you love? But why do you love it? What do you love about it?
I don't know. I just, me, I'm a sweet guy. I love stuff that's sweet. And I just think it's got the right combination with the cheese of the sweet and salt. And yeah, it just goes down easy. I like it better than most, not all flavors, but of the generic flavors. We're talking about cheese, pepperoni, Hawaiian, and let's say all dressed supreme, they would say. I like the ham the most. But then, you go to some restaurants, you got some real good specialty pizzas that are good. Like, you go to the Nick's and you have his Diablo pizza, Nick's Steakhouse. They have the best pizza. That's one of the best pizzas. And for years, I never would have chicken on a pizza. And now, man, I am a fan of the chicken on a pizza, like a barbecue chicken pizza. Ooh.
Yeah.
Or the pierogi pizzas.
Yeah, I don't mind. I don't mind the pierogi pizza. I love pierogies any way I can get them. My same issue, unless there's enough garlic or a little bite from the spicy sausage, it's a little bit bland for me. But that Diablo, I've never had the Diablo at Nick's, which I'm ashamed to say. I'm going to have to check it out. But when I was a kid, and I don't know, we go to the Italian family pizza houses, Venice House in North Battleford is where we used to go. The load there always came with those little shrimps. You know, did the Italians have the little? No. I'm sure they're just out of a little can, right? They're tiny. They're like this big.
Yeah, I don't think shrimp goes on pizza. That's disgusting.
Anchovies do though, right?
No. Nobody has that. Nobody takes that. That's disgusting. I think that's disgusting.
I've had it before.
Did you? I've
had it before, but the next thing. So my mom right now, the turkey we had was a turkey that they raised out on their little hobby farm. Next year they're talking about goats. What's your take on alternative proteins?
Wait, I gotta go back. Your mom made a turkey. Now last week you dissed Mama and the pastor's turkey. Okay. You did. You said, "Oh, mom's turkey is too dry."
I said, looking back, so this my mom.
I hope she didn't listen to the show.
No, I don't. My family doesn't listen to my show.
Okay,
but here's
was it good?
On that.
First of all,
my mom raised the turkey. My sister cooked the turkey.
Okay,
and you know what? It was good. It was good. But even my boys, on the way back, they said, "Yeah, dinner was really good, but it's not like yours, Dad." Well, that gave my sense of pride. But you know me with cooking. Like even Curtis Panyo in Regina texted me after last week's show saying, "Oh my God, we're totally brining ours," and I haven't heard how it turned out yet. I hope it turned out good. I hope he didn't scoop the cinnamon in there. But I have very high level expectations when I cook a meal. When somebody else cooks it for me, I'm just thankful to be fed. Wow. And the turkey I had yesterday that my mom raised in a little Saskatchewan farmyard over the summer was delicious.
Did it have a name?
No, I asked her. No names.
Okay. Yeah. So get to the goat. Tell me about the goat before we head off into the sunset here.
Well, alternative proteins. You asked me about pineapple pizza. Have you ever had goat?
So a couple of weeks ago, I was driving to what used to be one of my favorite shawarma spots on 17th Ave. They changed owners a couple of times, and I decided to walk in, and I ordered this loaded shawarma. And the place looked nice. I can't even remember the name. It's on 17th Ave. It was the old Desert Pita we used to go to.
Oh yeah. Oh, 17th Southeast, like International Ave.
Yeah, International Ave. And I get this humongous pita. And the guy's like, because every Lebanese guy thinks I'm Lebanese. "Hey, brother, what do you want, brother?" And I'm like, "Oh, listen, I'm not Lebanese, blah, blah, blah." He's like, "You're not Lebanese." I'm like, no Lebanese here. He's like, "Come on, brother." He's like, "You like meat?" I'm like, "Yeah, I like meat." So he pulls open this, like at the front, right by the cash, these two trays, like these two warming trays, pulls them on. He's like, "What do you like? Chicken or do you like meat?" I'm like, "Oh, I'll try the meat." Like I had a mixed donair that was all like ready to go. Man, he loaded me up this plate with meat. He's like, "This is goat." I'm like, "I'll try it." Gave me a huge plate of the garlic potatoes with the garlic sauce and this huge plate of this stewed goat meat. Man, I was full after that. It was so good. It was very it was juicy and fatty, almost like a brisket. But it was
like goat.
Yeah, but goat. It was so good. It was so good. So I love the goat. I actually want to go back and have some because normally when I go to a donair place, I order a donair, either a platter or a pita. But I want to go back just for the goat. It was that good.
Yeah, and roasted goat's the way to go. It is fatty, right? It is different.
Yeah,
but it tastes good. I've had a lot of it in Indian food. You can get a lot of their dishes.
Yeah.
If you go to a place that's not vegetarian, we'll serve goat as their protein. Jamaican, I think Jamaican recipes use a lot of goat too.
Oh, maybe.
It's actually good, but it's something we just never eat here. Like I never had goat till I was in my probably 30s or maybe 40s.
Yeah, it's definitely not common. It's not Canadian fare, typical Canadian fare that you would get if you go to local Boston Pizza. There's no goat dish, or at Earl's or at Joe. Like it's just. We go for the three mains, right? The pork, the beef, and the chicken. And now you'll see more alternative meats or not meats on the menu than you'll see goat. And I love that stuff. I love lamb. I mean, the Italians are very have an affinity with lamb around Easter, and lamb is tasty. So is rabbit. I've had rabbit before. So yeah, no, I like all kinds of meat. It's like you eat it. It's good when it's cooked and when it's flavored. like you, I'm just grateful when I get to try something
When you
different.
get fed. Let me ask you this. Is there anything that you could be served that you would just have to say no?
I
Can you
don't
think of
know.
anything?
Well, I've seen movies where people are eating like reptiles and bugs and lizards and all that stuff. I don't know, but then I hear everyone say it tastes like chicken. So I'm actually open to trying everything at least once. I'm not one of those people that will say like, no, I'm never going to do it. I will try everything at least once. If I don't like it, then I'm not trying it a second time. That's
So
for sure.
I haven't had alligator, but everybody says that's actually pretty good.
Oh yeah, I'd have.
I think for me, my line to cross, and I don't know if you've been following it. You talk about meat alternatives. Have you heard of lab grown meat?
No.
Where they take a protein sample like of a cow or something like that, and they replicate it, like they clone it and they grow it in a lab. So here's your lab grown cow. It never walked. It was never born. It never breathed. It never ate. It just was cultured in a lab. And they're saying that's going to be the next big push to cut back on methane gases and things like that. For me, that's the line that I'm not willing to cross.
Yeah, I know. That sounds
James says dog or horse is a no-go. Yeah, dog for sure. Horse, some cultures eat horse. I out of respect for Daryl, I don't think I'd ever try that because Daryl's a big guy, a big horse lover.
Well, I heard horse meat's really good, and Alberta's, I believe, is one of the top exporters of horse meat to Japan. I believe it is.
Yeah, I think that's one of Alberta's dirty little secrets, though, because I think in Alberta we have such reverence. Anywhere in the West, we have such reverence for the horse because it built our culture, right?
Yeah. Well, there was a news article, I believe it was last year, where it came to light because they were shipping live horses overseas, and it was very inhumane, the conditions that they were in as they were being shipped. But obviously, if they're shipped and slaughtered in Japan, the meat is fresher versus if they're slaughtered here and then.
Well, I don't think we're allowed to slaughter them here, too, right?
No, I don't know.
If anyone knows about fresh, maybe.
If anyone knows about this, I'd love to know a little bit more. But Sheldon, I think we're at the end of our show now. This is something we've talked about. I don't know if we could do this for even 5 minutes, but we should. We always say we were going to do this. So why don't we just try tonight? We'll end the show. We'll play the credits, but we'll keep it rolling. We'll get Trey on. We'll do our post-show notes. Guys, you're welcome to see the magic that happens after there might not be any magic. There might not be any magic this week. We got Trey's in a house full of 4 women. We're going to ask him a little bit about that in a second. But listen, we're ending.
Does Trey know you're doing this?
No, he doesn't. So I'm screening
up. Here we go.
We're ending the show now. But you can hang out for the what do we call it? The Chevy and Nasty after the ride. Take it away, Trey. Well, see, and this is how it ends. We go live. Sheldon goes to pee. There he is. He's coming back. He went to get his wine. Trey, great job producing the show.
What are you doing?
Yeah, that was good. Good stuff. And I like what Jamin said here. Instead of overtime, it's the shootout.
It's the shootout. Yeah, it is a shootout.
There you go. You know what we should do is we should send some links out to the guys next time too if we ever want to do this and have a shoot.
Hey, give me 1 second. Luke, you're going to your friend's house now? Okay, listen, don't stay up too late, okay? And you got to drive your brother to football tomorrow. Okay, where are you going? Tomorrow afternoon? Around 7:30. Okay.
And of course, we'll cut this from the what goes on Spotify.
No, we won't. We'll just let it rip.
No, we're gonna cut it. This is gonna be like a special edition.
Okay.
You know what? That's the thing. There's things like dog I could do. Horse, I'll admit that I probably could. Like, because I know in some cultures they eat it. Like, I'd probably try it if I was in Peru, and I'm not saying Peruvians eat horses, but I hear they might.
But I thought horse meat was really good for you.
I think it is. Yeah, I think it is. I know one time my mom went to a party in college. I think she went to college in Red Deer, and she went to a party and they fed her, and she thought it was, I don't know, she thought it was chicken or steak or whatever, and she ate it and was like, oh, that was really good. And then they were like, oh yeah, that was horse, by the way. And she was mortified because she grew up like living on a farm,
loving horses and stuff.
Loving horses and whatever. But
it's kind of a mind
blast. She liked it. Yeah. Yeah.
Hey, Sheldon, we didn't talk about that Ottoman.
Yeah, we know, man. My wife just calls out, "Hey, Trey, do you guys know you're on YouTube?" And we're like, "Yeah,
Yes.
Yeah. No. You know what? We didn't get to
let's
your Ottoman story.
Jamin and Rob, are you guys still there?
I don't know.
Have you? What's the weirdest thing you guys have ever eaten? Really lean meat. That's got to be the horse, right? It's got to be really lean. You would think so, but they're an herbivore, but they run a lot, so it's going to be tough meat. There'll be some cuts that are. Are we really talking about what part of the horse do you think is the most delicious? Jamin, what's the weirdest thing you've ever eaten?
Well, you told me you ate tongue, Sheldon. Cow tongue, right?
Yeah, I've had tongue before. One of the best things, and it's a bit of a mind trip. That was years ago. But my sister was in town last year, and she took me for dinner. Well, invited me to dinner at Notables, which I always like the name Notables, right? Like no tables, but the guy's name is Notables. Yeah. And their special was like stewed beef cheek, and it was like, he's got such a refined palate, that chef. He makes the most amazing dishes, and I'll admit, when I was digging into it, I was like, this is beef cheek, and it just seemed weird to me, right? But it was, the second you have a bite, it is delicious. It was so good, so rich, so decadent. It was honestly one of the best beef meals I've ever eaten.
I want you to say beef cheeks 3 times as fast.
Beef cheeks. Yeah.
Have you guys ever tried liver?
Oh yeah, I grew up on liver, dude.
Yeah.
Like Saskatchewan farm, you didn't waste anything on the cow, right?
Yeah.
Tongues. We wasted tongues. Okay, how about this? You guys heard about prairie oysters?
Oh yeah.
Like a bull ball.
When we would brand our calves, when we had cows, we would just, when we brand them, we cut the nuts off and deep fry them.
Did you eat them? Because James just said they tried to get him to eat them and he wouldn't eat them. I'm the same. We raised cattle. I've never eaten them. So
wait.
Tried bull testicle. Trey,
what's that?
You ate a deep fried bull testicle.
Yes.
Was it like a full grown bull? Like, was it a thing like this?
No. It's a calf. So they're not very big. Like,
couple of balls.
I don't even have something that's they're like,
So wait, I'm gonna ask you.
Remember the show Fear Factor though? They used to make them eat those on Fear Factor, right? But they were huge.
Those were big ones. Yeah, these are just like baby calves that are only
you can put little balls in your mouth, but you're not willing to take like a bite of a big juicy.
I didn't even have the opportunity to eat big balls though, because we would just like we would pen all like we had like 60 calves, so we would just pen them all, rope them, and they'd get their vaccines and they get with our brand.
We used to brand and castrate and all that.
Yeah, and then we would just cut them off, and they would go in the bucket, and then like the wives and the girls would deal with it, and we'd come back and eat dinner, and we would have like prairie oysters as our appetizers, and like
it's kind of like a bucket of nuggets.
It was probably not bad, right? Like once you get past the mental.
Yeah, and like some guys like dipped them in sauce. Like if you dipped it in a barbecue sauce or something, or ketchup or whatever, like it doesn't really taste like much, really.
Does it taste like balls?
Would any of your roommates, Trey? Would any of your roommates, like if you come back?
Yeah, Rob Evans is fried up in the corral, and I think that's how they used to do it.
Probably that's how they did it. I have no idea if any of my roommates would eat it. I don't even know if my girlfriend would do it. I don't think so.
No way. Okay. No. Well, listen, guys. I thought that was a good show. Trey, great job on the switch and the slides. What did you think?
Yeah, I thought it was good. We need probably a voiceover for the Blitz. Yeah. I did have like a one of these.
Whoa.
So, and I said last week I'd look into it, and I got started on it. We're looking at like voice actors and things like that. I can get 150 words done for like $30 or $50. So what I'm thinking is we should come up with what we want said. The Blitz, 300-pound poetry with Chevy and Nasty, like, and just come up with 10 things that we think we can use. Nasty Thoughts, the Blitz, Chevy's. What's your Macho Dad? We got to do a Macho Dad, right? But you might voice that one over yourself.
Yeah, I'll probably do that one myself. The Macho Dad when we do him,
or a voice with you on top of it saying, "Ooh
yeah, brother." No, I thought it was a good show. I hope the topics were good. We kind of flowed pretty quick, so.
Yeah, my problem. What I would like to do differently. Our second segment, we just completely just abandoned the clock, right? As we always do.
Completely bad.
I went to a movie tonight and had you guys in my ear for 40. Oh, that's why James stopped texting there. In fact, or messaging.
What movie did you watch?
You went to a movie and you listened to us. You said you wanted to see Transformers. Did you go see Transformers?
What did you go watch?
Oh,
Rob Evans. This is Rob Evans.
Rob. That's right. Last week at Dispatch.
Congratulations, my friend.
Congratulations.
And thank you for all your years of service and just being an all-around awesome dude.
See, this is where it'd be neat at some point if we could bring guys on, because I've got a ton of questions for Rob. Like, so what's next? You know, like, what's that like? I mean, Chev, we've left locker rooms before.
Yeah, we'll get him on. We'll send him a link one night, and we'll get Rob on. I think if Rob is willing, we'll have him on.
I think we should have like an episode where we just send the link out in the comments, and I can just keep people in, and we could just let guys join.
Yeah.
Am I a racist?
Who's that one? Am I a racist? I don't think I've heard of that one.
Is that a comedy?
I don't know.
It's a movie.
He's probably still watching it now. No, it's 12:16. He's probably done by now.
It's a documentary, satirical documentary comedy film with Matt Walsh.
There you go.
Equity, inclusion movement.
Yeah,
I bet that's a good one. I bet it's funny.
About the crazy left.
Was it good? Yeah, I bet it was.
Rob says 26. I don't know. I missed that.
I totally agree. 26. 26.
I think it was 26 years, right, Rob?
Oh, 26 years.
There you go. 26 years. Yeah.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah. And that's the thing too about Elon. Like, you know what I actually enjoyed, and I wish you would have came out a little harder. Because I know those guys rub you the wrong way. Just like some guys rub me the wrong way. Like, like Justin Trudeau, Joe Biden, all these people that people talk about saying, well, they're more diplomatic about how they do things. Yeah, they say nice things, but they still fuck everything up. And
Trudeau, I'm with you on. Trump, I have a hard time with. Aaron Rodgers, I have a hard time with. And I have a hard time with Elon Musk. But Elon Musk a little less. I actually gained a little respect for him tonight watching that. Yeah. Just doing a little research on kind of, he's still a bit messed up. And I think there's something there. But I really admire what he's done. He's thrown us into a different stratosphere of technological evolution. Now, I don't know if it's all right. You know, like he talks about AI and
totally.
And how it needs to be regulated. And at the same time, I think he probably is one of the guys that was championing it, right? Like
he's also championing the regulation, like AI. He came out here and he disassociated himself with one group, saying, "Guys, this is going way too fast, and there are no ground rules." He goes, "This is dangerous, guys." And if Elon Musk is saying something's dangerous, then
he literally is Tony Stark in the Avengers too. When he created the Ultron protocol, and then all these robots went nuts, and then he had to destroy them all. And that's literally Tony Stark. He solves problems that he foresees coming. Then it creates a bigger problem. Then he has to solve that problem. That's literally the plot to every Marvel movie surrounding Iron Man. Oh, I think there's going to be a problem, so I'm going to make a robot to fix it. Then the robot goes crazy, and then we got to destroy the robot.
Which is everything that we do has unintended consequences that you just can't foresee because you're breaking ground. And, like AI, like somebody was talking about it today, at some point, not now, not 10 years from now, but at some point, as we continue to develop AI to be more or less reliant on us, at some point, at very least, before it takes over, it's going to be guiding all policy in the country. Like I just vouched for saying, you know what, if Trump does get into power, I would like to see a disruptor like Elon Musk come in there and somebody that can actually say things, not worrying about whose feelings he's hurting, but to see where are these efficiencies, how much fat, because I promise you in every department, there is 30% of waste and favor. We're as fucking corrupt as Argentina and Ukraine and Russia. We're just as corrupt. It's just as controlled by a very few people at the top. If somebody could go there that didn't give a fuck about making money and just said, I'm going to clean this up for you, he'd probably be executed within 5 years. or assassinated, I think is the word, but
assassinated.
But that is a neat concept. However, if we leave AI to run things, I promise you, like right now, you think Joe Biden's, not to get too political, I think Joe Biden's is taking the snap and handing it off. I think they're putting civil servants and like senior administrators are kind of running the country and running programs, whether it's infrastructure, things like that. I don't think there's one person calling people out and making decisions. And I think if you went to AI, you would get more of that, right? It'd be AI making the decisions and people just saying yes, no, yes, no, yes, no. Or at some point just signing off on it, right? Because they're smarter than us. They've been here longer. They know more about the issues in terms of AI. That's what scares me, is at some point AI would be making all the calls.
Yep. I agree. And they were talking about that today, that it's like it's advanced exponentially faster than they thought it would. And we don't know what it's going to be like just in 10 years from now. So yeah, no, it's a little scary. A little scary. Right. Listen, guys, I enjoyed that. I figured we'd just try this out because we talked about it just a little bit after party talk. I thought it was
and good. Takeaway. Let's get. I'll put it on me for the voiceovers, but you guys put it in the text chat about what voiceovers we want to get.
Yeah,
and I'll see, because I think we do it for $50, and I'll see what we can come up with.
Yeah, for sure. Trey, is that an Oilers jersey you're wearing?
Big win tonight.
Yeah, I like those jerseys.
There you go. Yeah.
They don't make them anymore because they have Fanatics doing the jerseys now. So this is like an antique in like 10 years. So
and who is that you got on there?
The Draisaitl, 29.
Draisaitl, yeah, 29.
I can.
He scored tonight.
Nice.
We're back.
Was that his first of the year, or has he scored?
Second. He scored a garbage goal against Chicago, but they benched him actually in the third period because he took a terrible penalty.
Oh wow!
At the end of the second period, and so he was basically benched the whole third. They get on the power play with 3 minutes left at the end of the third, and he gets an assist, and then he scores the overtime winner. So 3-0. Jamin says the Flames are 4-0.
He might be talking about the Jets. Did the Jets play today?
Oh, the Jets are probably 4-0. I think the Jets are 4-0. I think they play tomorrow, though.
There you go. I think they're 3-0
against my Flyers. Yeah,
it's the Flyers. Oh, Evans is a Flyers guy. Yeah.
He's a Flyers guy.
Yeah, that's one of my haters.
He says
them in Boston.
Yeah, he's talking about the Flames. Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, 4-0.
Yeah,
all right.
Yeah.
Boys, good work.
Yeah. Okay, Trey, thanks again, man. You keep pulling it out of your hat. I appreciate you. You've always got it ready to go, so thank you.
Of course. Of course.
Right, guys.
Love it.
All right, sweet dreams, guys.
Right.
See you guys. Bye-bye.
Bye.